Okay, welcome to our newest episode of Team Talk. Thank you everybody for watching so far and listening so far. And I would like to interview for this newest episode, Ipressthebuttons. Welcome, Buttons.
How's it going? Thanks for having me.
It's going great, it's going great. Lovely to have you on. Lovely to have you on. So kick us straight off. How did you start? How did you get into Grid? What got you into a game?
So, I have a Marvel background for fighting games, and so I played Marvel vs. Capcom 3, and that's the fighting game that really got me into fighters in general. Got me into the genre. So when I saw Power Rangers come out, I'm not a Power Rangers fan at all. I know next to nothing about Power Rangers. I like the gameplay. The gameplay looked awesome. I was just coming off the back of playing Infinite and wasn't really a fan of the look of Infinite, but I love the playstyle. And so playing Infinite and then seeing Power Rangers come out, I gave it a try and immediately fell in love.
Yeah, it's quite a natural transition, isn't it, Infinite to Grid, because of how the tag system sort of carries over. Not exactly, but a little bit.
Very close, very similar.
Yeah. So when did you pick the game up? How long have you been playing it?
I picked it up, I want to say, back in November of 2019. It came out 2019, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So I picked it up in November of 2019.
Okay. So just after, Season 2 launched?
Yes. Or maybe just before Season 2.
Okay, yeah.
Somewhere around there.
Fair enough. And what team are you rocking right now?
Right now, I'm playing Udana, Gia, Lauren, but that might shift a little bit soon, but I don't know yet.
Okay. It's a team I think you're very well associated with. I think you're one of the few Udana players who kind of consistently represents that sort of high level.
Yeah.
And obviously Gia and Lauren aren't hugely played either outside of a couple of people as well, so.
Yeah, a lot of people dropped off Lauren once she got nerfed and couldn't easily one touch. And Gia is just she's one of those characters that's really good, but you have to utilize a lot of her more I wouldn't say hard techniques, but thought out ideas.
Yeah.
And I don't use half of them, so I use her as a lockdown assist, basically.
Fair enough. That's one way of doing it. I mean, Gia players have the moron combo, so there's not a huge amount of thinking that they like to promote. So,
and then as long as you have one assist, you get the unblockables.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, how did you end up settling on that team? Walk us through your process of it. Where did you start off when you picked up the game?
All right, so where I started off with the game was Udana, Jason, Gia. Gia back in the day had another Morin combo where you just did dash, jump heavy S across the screen.
Okay.
And you just did that 4 or 5 times, and then you did an ender.
That just sounds like the Trini Infinite.
That it also sounds a lot like my Udana combos. So I transitioned from doing Gia's combos to just putting them on Udana, so it was fantastic. So I rocked that team. I used Jason because one, he was basic and easy to use, and 2, I could double EX with Udana.
Okay. So using it just as an extension tool.
Yes. That mentality carried over once I figured out who I wanted to play. I figured out I really liked how Udana felt to play. And I'm like, okay, so I'm just going to make Udana work as best as I possibly can make her work. There's two big mindsets about Udana. One is keep away, and the other one is rush down. I prefer the rush down method just because that's the playstyle I prefer.
Yeah, I think particularly sort of not necessarily just at lower ranks, but a lot of the time at lower ranks, people see Udana's zoning buttons and think that's all the character is. But she's got some sauce.
Yeah, so you can do a mix. You can do a mix of both, and that's when she becomes the most dangerous, especially when you start utilizing the tag in, tag out system.
Yeah, I've messing around with Udana a little bit. She's got some fun stuff, I've got to say.
Yeah.
In terms of just tagging out.
So from there, I transferred over to playing Udana. It was Daishi Udana, Jason.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I remember the Daishi phase.
This is when I was I called it Team Mix because all it was is that you can force the corner to be anywhere on the screen because of your side switching. You
Yeah.
just force a sandwich constantly. And then once you get them to the corner, that's when all hell breaks loose, and you can hit them with like 8-way mixes using all your assists.
That's the kind of lovely mix we love to see in Grid.
Yes, very much so.
Completely fair. Completely fair.
It was all just a guess once you get someone to the corner with that team. Because Daishi would side swap, Jason could double side swap, and Udana can go high-low or even steal the corner by using an assist and then tagging to the assist once it goes to the other side.
Yeah, I mean that's also part of what makes Udana so good as well. She has like consistent overhead pressure with jump heavy, right? I feel like that's, if anybody thinks of Udana, like it's either jump special or jump heavy. They're both like very not polarizing buttons, but they're very like definitive for her, right?
Those are most definitely her iconic buttons.
Yeah.
And then from there, I was given, and I have to give a shout out to the one and only Mega Isaac X for telling me to play Gia while my internet was down.
Okay.
So I didn't want to play Gia because they changed the way you confirm into 4S. The timing got changed, and that messed me up for so long that I didn't want to relearn the new timing. So you'll find out there's always one thing with me that like makes me drop a character. So for Gia, that's what that was. For Daishi, it was I couldn't confirm into EX off a slide anymore easily.
Okay.
You can still do it with plinking. I'm just bad at getting that to come out.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay. And so what led you then? So you were then playing Udana, Gia, and Jason or Daishi? And then Lauren, okay.
Yeah, so I dropped Daishi, or I dropped Jason for Lauren because I could continue the double EX.
Yeah.
And then I dropped Daishi for Gia.
Ah, I get you.
And that became my team ever since then, and much better results from there.
Oh, and for sure, you've put on like one hell of a showing, and like a number of tournaments, I remember. Outside of the ones we had to leave in mid-finals.
Yes, outside of those, yes. I'm still sad about that, but it is what it is.
That was, I think that was an iconic Grid moment. For anybody who wasn't there, I can't remember what was it. Battle for the Beardies.
I think so.
I think so. Yeah, charity tournament we ran.
Yes, I think
last year, and Buttons made an amazing run to finals, and then had to leave for work.
I was already an hour and a half late. I told my manager I was going to be late, like an hour or so late, because I'm like, oh yeah, the tournament should run about this long. So I'm like, okay. And then there was just, I don't remember if there was just issues or if there was just a number of entrants that made it run a little longer. But yeah, so I got stuck there, and then my manager started calling me, and I'm like, just give me another like 15 minutes. And then I kept winning, and I'm like, oh no.
Everyone was rooting for you as well at that point.
Yeah, I love when people are like, let's go the youth. It always fills my spirit with hope, and then I'm like, oh no, now I'm gonna fail. So it is definitely put some extra pressure on me, that's for sure. But I usually play better under pressure, but then I also typically get angrier under pressure.
Okay.
So it's a blessing and a curse.
Yeah. This is definitely a fighting game thing where some people just kind of thrive under pressure, but then just kind of like get more intense.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So
good try.
The reason why Gia, like the switch to Gia, was so good is because you get a lot. So Udana doesn't have very many buttons to pressure with. Gia solves most of those issues just by allowing you to have an extra layer of mix at all points of time.
Okay.
If you get any hit with Udana, you can then call Gia as an assist, and then you can just kind of plink around and run around for a little bit without pressing any definitive buttons, and then get a hit that way. There's also a small gap after Gia's second hit that allows you to change the block. So if you do a jump overhead, but you wait until in between the first and second hit, it doesn't auto block when you switch sides.
That's fairly dirty, gotta say.
Yeah, same thing with Lauren assist. There's 2 waves of butterflies, so there's a small gap in between the first wave and the second wave.
Okay, so it's all about enabling Udonna to kind of get that.
My whole playstyle up to this point has been make Udonna the best I can make her.
Yeah.
Um,
So Udonna specifically, what drew you to a character?
Hager.
Okay.
She has Mike Hager pipe. That is exactly all it is. Okay, well that's a bit of a lie. There's also the fact that all her stuff has a lot of hit stun on it, where your opponent can't move and you have all the time in the world to confirm. Because I have terrible confirms. I am the worst at learning how to confirm. So if I could do better combos by doing light, medium, anti-air to launch them, but instead I do light, medium, heavy, and the 3 hits to the heavy allows me to decide what I want to do.
Yeah, that can be so crucial, especially if you're in like a pressure situation as well, and you need to make like snappy reactions.
Yeah, it gives me some time. Gives me time to breathe.
Yeah, exactly. That's underrated, but also but it's a really good thing to have in certain characters.
Mm-hmm.
And going off that, actually, I was going to ask. This is a question that Dex asked when I asked for questions. You're playing Gia, Lauren, Udonna. Gia and Lauren are arguably 2 incredibly good point characters.
Yes.
And you run Udonna point.
I do run Udonna point.
So what's your reasoning behind that?
So 2 reasons. One, I'm lazy.
Yeah.
And haven't learned the 2 other characters as point characters. The other reason is because round start with Udonna, I have 4 different starts I can do because of those 2 as an assist. With Udonna on an assist, although she's a good assist, isn't a good round start assist. There's almost no reason to throw Udonna out round start.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, it's not an assist that comes out instantly and doesn't track a huge amount of space. So
no, and it also uses a huge chunk of your stagger meter. So, but yeah, the other thing is that with Udonna, I just feel way more comfortable moving around when I don't have to panic about her on incoming. And since she's one of my best characters, if I can tag her out and keep the momentum going, I can then tag her back in later when it's safe and not have to worry about losing my best character without Zord or anything like that.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I suppose Udonna also has some really strong, some just pretty strong tag out options as well.
Yes. She also the way I see it is that your point character is your point character for roughly 8 seconds.
You're not wrong.
So you have about 8 seconds to decide if you want to change out to your next character. Actually, 8 seconds is way too long. Like 4 seconds probably. You have a small window between round start and getting the first couple hits before you have to decide whether it's time to tag out or just get blown up.
Yeah, no, I'd agree with that. There's the round start in Grid can be incredibly hectic. Just being able to have strong tag out moves to make the tag out safe, and also just having the capacity to, I guess, protect yourself by defensively tagging out when the opponent is beginning to apply that round start pressure is so important, because round start determines the swing of a game so many times in Grid.
Yeah. So my main plan for round start with Udonna is dash jump forward called Gia, and then hesitate on button. If they backdash, you press special. If they don't backdash, you press heavy, and if they jump, you press medium. And what this allows is that if they backdash and they block the ice, you call Lauren, dash jump again, call ice again, and then you tag into Lauren, because they're stuck blocking 6 shots of jump S. And then Lauren can come in and either go low or high, and they have to block either one. It's a 50-50 after that.
Yeah. And Lauren has incredible air movements. She can also just cross you up as well, right?
Yes, correct.
Absolutely filthy.
The only issue is that you're at that point you are stuck with just Lauren. You don't have a second assist to do anything, so you have to make your decision quickly and then make yourself safe if they block.
Yeah, agreed.
So that's the general game plan: is pressure. Once pressure fails, tag into Lauren.
Nice. And how about once you tag into Lauren? How do you play Lauren and Gia with Donna assist and the other assistant as well?
Cross up, force a sandwich. The ice when you on block leaves you super plus. So even if it bounces, the goal is to get ice barely off screen. So that way when it bounces, people don't expect it to be there.
Yeah.
And then Gia I just use for pressure, and Lauren assists I just use for pressure. So like the main thing with Udana is because of how few buttons she has, creating sandwiches or creating moments where people won't expect you to press what button you want to press is great. So like if you do jump H over and over and over again, you can then just throw out a 2L and you'll catch a lot of people.
Yeah. That's the kind of button that it's just sort of conditioning that having that really strong button allows you to do, because people will expect Udana to go for the overhead button, the good button.
The good one.
And so instinctively, I think people do like guard their heads against Udana a bit more.
Mm-hmm.
So you can catch them out a bit more that way.
That's exactly that.
Nice. So what sort of other synergies do you think you've discovered with your team?
With my team specifically, using Lauren's what is it? It is 5S back.
Okay.
To do the flame pillar. You can use that for one final pickup after the slices in the corner. So then you can go into that to do an extension. But like for synergies, nothing crazy. Specifically just extensions like that. I thrive on just trying to make touch of death combos with characters that don't necessarily touch of death.
That's fair, because both Gia and Lauren are probably two of the more low damage characters in the game at the moment.
Yeah, Lauren can get a touch of death. It's very situational and like it's specific, but you can do it. But Gia, on the other hand, I like to get hits with Gia and then just tag straight into Udana and then do double EX. Because why would you waste all your time trying to get like 60 damage with Gia when you can get 300 for just pressing a couple buttons?
Yeah, that's not bad. Speaking of EX, that's one thing. Another thing that's always struck me about one of Udana's strength is that getting the kill with EX is such a strong move.
Oh, it is.
Because you instantly set up those ice orbs upon like an EX kill, and then you just get that crazy, just like, yeah, you're gonna have to guess where I'm going now.
Yeah. One of the big advice I'd always give with Udana players is always kill with EX. No matter what, even if they have like 2 HP, just kill them with EX so you get the orbs. You can get an 8-way mix with that.
It's 8-way.
So I just started doing it recently, but so you obviously get your shimmy for the 50-50, but then you can also do dash jump after you do the 50-50 and hit on the other side, or you can neutral jump and hit on and do the jump heavy instead of overhead. So you can hit on all four sides at any time, or all four positions at any point.
That's pretty disgusting.
And because the orbs pull them out of the corner, you can actually hit them even if they steal corners sometimes.
Really?
Yeah, because it depends on when you hit and when you press heavy. It will pull them out of the corner just enough for you to hit them behind. It's kind of like Goldar when he does his chest press in the corner.
Yeah.
Same kind of logic applies. She can like dip past the screen just a little bit to hit you on the other side.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah, that's definitely a good advice for Udana players. Just get the kill with EX.
Yeah.
When you can, like just there's a Udana player UK side called Valkyrian who, whenever he gets a straight hit with Udana, goes straight into Mega Goldar and will just always get the kill with EX and just absolutely wrecks you then.
Yep.
And I remember him tearing through a couple of European tournaments that way with just Udonna. Nobody being ready really for Udonna.
Yeah, that is it's quite difficult if you don't play against a lot of Udonnas who just play aggressive.
Yeah.
Even if they are playing keep away, but aggressive keep away is a whole different level of play.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I guess the standard, ranked meme of Udonna would be it's just for person who backs and does jump S, which is very punishable if you don't know how to make it safe with assists.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just kind of getting that done. I think Valkyrian was another guy who was like really consistent in getting like confirms by just doing forward jump S. Shenanigans.
I also know you can confirm off of jump S from anywhere on the screen if you can blink. It
really?
requires
Anywhere?
I believe anywhere. It requires 3 plinks though. You have to be able to plink, blink, blink heavy, and it has to be just about instant.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's pretty important to know. I mean, part of the reason Eric is so good is because he can confirm a full screen zoning as well.
Yeah. She's definitely like the character that has been my focus for.
And I think that comes across. I think if people think of you in Grid, they do think of Udonna.
Yeah. But I have a little secret that I'll put out here right now. I guess it's not too much of a secret, but I'm making a B team finally after all these years. I'm making a B team, just to deal with Eric.
Is that where you think the team falls short when it comes to Eric?
So it's not just Eric, but my team falls short to anyone who can confirm off full screen.
Okay.
Because I have no assist that can touch them from full screen.
Yeah.
So there's nothing I can do against anybody who can zone effectively from a distance. Now, my team strives on jump, or the way I play at least, strives on me jumping. So anyone who can keep me from jumping or staying in the air for a little bit will put a huge hamper on my team.
Okay. And so, what's the B team you're thinking of? What are you constructing to combat that?
So the B team is Poisandra, Lauren, Scorpina.
Ooh, I like that.
Because from playing Scorpina Poisandra for a couple weeks, probably a couple days for me, but he's been up for a couple weeks. Is she serves the same exact goal as Udonna. She has the same mentality, or for me at least, she has the same mentality and play style as Udonna with like slightly better buttons.
She does some really good jump normals to pressure overhead with.
She has really good jump normals. She has some pretty good projectiles with sledge, and she has a cake that does very similar things to ice, where it comes out and eats projectiles or just kind of zones them off for a little bit.
Yeah, I can see that. And I suppose it's a similar ethos in terms of running her point in that her assist doesn't do a huge amount.
Yep. So with Poisandra, I haven't quite got my game plan for neutral down yet. And my conversions aren't quite there yet. But I'm going to be putting in time for her, so that way, and Scorpina soon, so that way I can get this team rolling. Yeah.
I suppose a good thing about Poisandra is she's got. So I guess the good things against zoning on that team, you've got Poisandra with like the Reflect EX, which is I think an incredible button.
I didn't know it was a Reflect until I got hit by it. Because I threw ice out and then I got EX and it bounced back into my face.
It's always a terrible feeling.
It was a rude awakening, if I do say so myself.
Luckily, one that you can use.
It is indeed.
But it's so obviously you've got Poison under EX, and you've also got Scorpina assist, which is just the queen of all assists, really.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not all assists, but it's definitely one of the better ones in the game.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's my new team, just because I still really like Lauren. Lauren, her combos, the way I play Lauren, and the combos that I do, feel a lot like Tsubaki. I don't know if anyone else is going to agree with me there, but to me, that feels like Tsubaki. So, Tsubaki is my favorite character from Blaze Blue Central Fiction, and
Okay.
I like that playstyle and that feeling and the rush down that you can do with it. So, I'm not dropping Lauren at all because one, she's just good. She has too good of mixes. Her buttons are too strong. She has a full screen heavy. Yeah, I can't shy away from that. It's too good.
Yeah, you can't really argue with that. Can't really argue against keeping Lauren on your team.
I think at some point I have to accept that top tiers are top tiers for a reason, and I have to play them the way they're supposed to be played.
Yeah, I suppose so. But luckily, Grid's got got enough that you can sort of force certain compositions to work.
Yeah. So I was talking with
Just as long as you're not playing Trini.
As long as you're not playing Trini, yes. However, I have a objection to that.
Okay.
So the way I think a team should be built, this is my own personal way that you build a team in Grid, is you pick one S tier neutral character.
Yep.
One full screen assist or strong assist, and then your third can be whatever.
Yeah.
Your point character doesn't need to be on point. They don't have to be on point. You just need to have a point character that is S tier.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Yeah, because I again, you have the 4 seconds at round start to decide whether you want to keep your character on the screen or not, or switch over to a different character.
Yeah, you want to be confident the character you might want to switch into, or the character that you're keeping in is going to be able to handle themselves.
Yep.
Once you've thrown out your assists at round start. Because I guess that's an interesting kind of thing with round start, is like how many assists are you going to be throwing out and how quickly. Because there's going to be, if you throw out both, there's the danger that you now have to play neutral with just a single character.
Yeah, and so the people who hold their assist till they need them typically have a higher chance of getting the hit because you don't have that assist to fall back onto.
Yeah.
And that's when you get the true neutral, where there's two players that are not using their assist at all.
Yeah, which is kind of like a chicken game to try and get the other person out of assist so that you can then go into the advantage with your assist as well. It's kind of a fun, but it's one of the real fun bits of Grid neutrals once you're kind of in that kind of real, sort of battle there for like the momentum.
I think my most favorite and hated parts of Grid is when you both have one character left.
Yeah.
It is most terrifying, but also like exhilarating.
It leads to some of the most like tense moments. It's fantastic sometimes.
But yeah, that's generally my idea for team building is make sure you have a character that you're comfortable with on point, and then a good actual point character, and then a full screen assist.
Yeah, I can definitely drive with that. I think that's pretty solid advice, to be honest.
Because I'm always a fan of picking what you like over top tier.
I mean, like a big thing of like these kind of games is if you're not enjoying it, a lot of the time you're not going to be able to like put a lot of effort into it. It depends. It depends on who you are and how you approach things. But particularly like with games like this, like being able to express yourself like to some degree, I think is really important.
Yeah. And the other thing is, unless this is just a general thing for fighting games, unless you're like planning on going pro to a certain degree, there's no reason that you can't body people with not a top tier.
Yeah, exactly. Unless you're like competing at the highest levels.
Yeah.
You can get
tier lists are made for people who can compete at high levels, not for Joe Schmo or, hey, my friends want to play this game, and I want to be good.
Yeah. Yeah, and the level you're at is always like really dependent on like how you start to approach your teams. I think it's only once you get to like really high level stuff that you start thinking, I need to change up my team a little bit because this isn't working.
Yeah. Now, like, I will say, like, yeah, I did need to change my team. I was playing Daishi Udana Jason. That is
Yeah,
There-
I can't agree with that one, Chief.
there's a lot of things that team is lacking. So yeah, my biggest goal now is just find an assist that is full screen that I also like the character.
Yeah,
Which I think Scorpina so far fits the bill the most.
yeah.
I thought about Doggy, and I'm like, I kind of shied away from that because I'm not a big fan of playing on Stadia.
Yeah.
The joke is he yells, "I for Acinia," and I yell, "I play on Stadia all the time with that," because I hate that move.
It's fun. It's a fun one, but it's also like one that dog players will throw out a lot.
A lot.
A lot.
It is punishable.
Yeah.
You can full screen plink
high,
dash at him.
highly punishable. Yeah.
Yeah, you can full screen plink dash at him and catch him.
Yeah. Well, then again, if they know how to backdash cancel, then maybe it's not. But
oh yeah, I guess that is the thing, isn't it?
But
all
we
right,
know
well.
that. People that not. I think there aren't that many people who do actively do backdash cancels with Doggo. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Now, I think that's about all I got for like
Nice.
team stuff.
Yeah. I mean, great. Thanks for coming on and chatting about it.
Yeah.
Where can people find you? Where can people watch you or follow you?
So you can follow me on Ipressthebuttons or IPT buttons on Twitter. Ipressthebuttons on Twitch and YouTube. I'm planning on making some more like grid content. I keep saying that. I keep just not doing it. But I plan on making Udana breakdown stuff.
I understand the pain. I understand the pain.
But yeah, if you ever have any questions for Udana, I'm always happy to tell you what I feel about it and how I think she should be played. I think with a few more characters coming out, or the Arita coming out, I heard that she's going to be like a zoner of some sort, or at least a magic user. Udana might have her true like keep away team at that point.
I'm very excited for Rita, to be sure.
But yeah, those are my 3 main socials. Everything else is just hit me up on Twitter, and I'm always down to play grid. If you want to ever play a match, just let me know. Always down to play.
Perfect. Well, thanks for coming on. Thanks a huge amount for just coming and sharing a bit of your wisdom.
Yeah, I appreciate you inviting me.
Yeah, it's good to have you. And if anybody has any sort of questions they'd like to ask or like answered about team building or anything in grid, drop a comment down. We can ask people on future episodes. Always happy to give advice. But yeah, thanks for listening, thanks for watching, and we will see you on the next one. Bye.
Bye.